I do fancy Forest to turn up in an East Midlands derby, even in the situation they're in.
I'm a Swansea fan, but yeah, everyone can see HUGHTON'S not working.
And on the other side, you've got Derby, who are lucky to still be in the Championship at this point.
Oh yes,
We've scored a goal! Come on! James Garner!
Goes on and smashes it home! What a strike from Ben Osborne! The man in the mask has done it!
Here we are then. We're here. East Midlands derby time. Forest away at Pradlers Park. Let's talk about it, you know? Let's engage in conversation. Audience interaction. Let me know in the comments below how you're feeling. Are you terrified like me? Yes, you are if you're a Forest fan. And if you're a Derby fan, because if you're not worried, if you're not scared, then there's something wrong with you, quite frankly, because it's a Derby game. As you would have seen in the intro, we have a few guests coming on in this video. Please, of course, do go and check all three of them out. They're fantastic lads with great channels. We've got Kyan, Tristan24, JJ Loza. They all do similar content to me, so go and check them out. And if you don't, then, I mean, I feel sorry for you. Forest have not lost against Derby since 2017. That's a run of 8 games. I fear that this Twitter account's lifespan is dwindling, to be honest. Yeah, this is probably the most unconfident I've ever felt about a Derby game. I'm not going to lie. The last 3 meetings have all ended 1-1. James Garner scoring in the last game out at Pride Park. The last game at the City Ground ended 1-1 as well. I mean, so yeah, Einstein, I just said the last 3 were 1-1, and then I state that the one before that was 1-0. You only get facts on this channel. Like and subscribe if you enjoy that kind of thing, you know? I'm going to wait for you to do it. You better have done it. Otherwise... Hang on. I'll get an old friend. If you're new to the channel, you'll think I'm absolutely mental here, but... this man will be after you. Yep, I just picked up a plastic owl and threatened you with it. But let's talk about the current. This, quite frankly, could be Chris Hughton's final game as Forest manager. And I'm not going to say I'm upset about that. In 10 months of him being our manager, he's done absolutely zero to impress me. When your own fans are chanting, "You're sacked in the morning," I think you know there's something quite seriously wrong. For the 2nd season in a row, Forest have lost the opening 4 games of the league season. We have not lost 5 in a row to start a season since 1954-55 season. That's older than my dad, and that's a long time ago. If any Derby fans are watching this, then I'll be encouraged to know that Forest have not had a shot on target in 180 minutes of football, as this meme points out quite incredibly well, and yeah, pretty funny as well. We had 2 shots against Wolves, they had 28, and they had 13 shots on target. Now you may be thinking, well, I mean, you know, Premier League team, for God's sake, you know, give us a break. Check this out. During the same round of League Cup ties, Premier League side Aston Villa beat League 2 Barra 6-0. However, Barra still managed to have 6 shots on goal. Morecambe of League 1 lost to Preston 4-2. However, Morecambe still managed 16 shots on goal. That's also more shots than Preston had. Huddersfield Town, they lost 2-1 at home to Everton. However, they had 10 shots on goal. That's more than Everton. Blackpool lost to League 1 Sunderland 3-2 at home. However, Blackpool managed 16 shots on goal. That's more than Sunderland. I think you're getting a good idea that this is Chris Hughton being found out. We have numerous occasions there where a lower league side loses to a team in a higher division, of course, but they manage more shots than them. Forest lose to a team in a higher division, but they have 2 shots to 28, 0 on target. The game before, a very similar story, and before that, you know, it's worrying. Even playing a weakened team, it is still the same scenario. The first team would have been the same. That's enough for me waffling though. I'm going to hand over now to a few of my guests that I've invited on. We've got Kyan, Tristan24 and JJ Loza. They are all neutral fans, purposely, of Carlisle, Swansea and Port Vale, so they're all used to disappointment. But I wanted to see what it would be like from their point of view.
Right, so David has asked me to share some of my opinions on the upcoming East Midlands derby. Of course, neither of the clubs are really in that good of a situation at the minute, but Forest are probably worse off at the moment. So let's talk about Forest. It's no secret that Nottingham Forest are in an absolutely appalling spot at the minute for a club of their stature. I know they had a horrid season by any means last season at their club, but this season's just a new low. 4 games in, only like 3 goals scored or something like that. 4 L's out of 4 games. That is embarrassing. Chris Hughton just doesn't look like the man for the job. After winning, European Cups in their past, Forest have been reduced to worrying about relegation, and that's sad to see.
Massive thanks to Rads for inviting me on this video, and today I'm here to give my thoughts of the East Midlands derby, so let's get straight into it. So, of course, this is the 5th game of the season in the league, I'm pretty sure anyway, and Forest, many people would say they have got off to the worst start possible, 0 points. But many people would have thought it's the other way around. It would have been because of Derby's situation. For Forest at the moment, of course, a lot of fans want Hughton out. I know David, for example, does want Hughton out as well. It's a difficult one at Forest. I'm not a Forest fan, of course, but I'm a Swansea fan. But yeah, everyone can see Hughton's not working. But I think he's a brilliant manager, but something's not going right behind the scenes at Forest. Just signed James Garner, who is, he's a brilliant player. Of course, he was on loan with you last season for the second half, I'm pretty sure it was, of the season, and yeah, he did decent.
The East Midlands derby. On one side, you've got Nottingham Forest, who still look like they have a hangover from their failed promotion bid 2 seasons ago. They do have Chris Hughton in charge, though, who is a very good manager at that level. He's got 2 clubs promoted and 2 clubs into the playoffs, which is no mean feat for a manager.
But let's talk a bit about Derby, We've got to be somewhat unbiased. I think given the fact that they can't spend any money, they've done pretty well to sign the players that they've managed to do. All 3, of course. Will Morrison has had a very encouraging start to his Derby County career. Sam Baldock, he's probably one of the most championship strikers of all time, but he's obviously scored a goal for you already against Hull. Phil Jagielka, that's absolute bags of experience right there. Ryan Alsop coming in from Wickham. Obviously, he got relegated last year, but it's a safe pair of hands, isn't it? Richard Stearman as well, coming in from Huddersfield Town. I think you've done pretty well there, and now you have assembled quite a nice starting 11 anyway. Whether your depth is good or not, your starting 11 is actually looking a little bit more competent now. As a result of signing those players, Derby do now have the oldest starting 11 in the Championship, that being 28 years and 327 days. Since that stat was wrote, it's changed. It's probably 29 days now. I don't know. It's old, I know that. It really does say it all, though, regardless of how dreadful Derby's situation is. Forest off the pitch, and you'd think on it should technically be slightly better. It couldn't be further from the truth. It could not be further from the truth.
We're not going to pretend like the East Midlands counterparts Derby County were any better off last season. They narrowly avoided relegation, and there were scenarios in which they probably could have been relegated, given the EFL swayed a different way with their decision towards Wickham, etc. But Derby County are still in the Championship, and let's be honest, they've had an alright start to the season. I know it's primarily Forest fans that watch these videos, so they won't be happy to hear me say this, but let's be honest here, so far Derby County have been better this season than Forest by a mile. The wins haven't been convincing, but they've got points on the board, and that's what's needed.
The East Midlands derby, I don't know all too much about it for all the history. I know Forest, I got a lot of Forest fans, and I know that they'll do anything for the football club, and I know a few Derby fans, not so many as I know Forest fans, but I know as well it means so much, as does any derby, to every fan.
And on the other side, you've got Derby, who are lucky to still be in the Championship at this point. They were a side who looked like they were going to be getting promoted almost every single season, and now they're just sitting at the bottom relying on youngsters and rejects, and have a manager who, to be honest with you, would probably do a better job on the pitch than most of the players he has to pick every weekend.
Part of me wants to say that they'll beat us 1-0, but I can't bring myself to do that, and I also do just feel like Will we really lose 5 in a row in the league? Like, really? So based off that, I'm going to go for 1-0, given the fact the last 3 have been 1-0. We don't tend to score goals or even have shots on target right now, or just shots in general. Derby can at least score the odd goal, which again is another strike in favour of them. Let's just put it this way, it's either going to be a Derby win or a draw. I cannot see a world in which we score more than them.
Anyways, let's get down to business with the score prediction. Because I'm on a Forest favoured channel, and I know I'd probably get absolutely slated if I said otherwise, I do fancy Forest to turn up in an East Midlands derby. Even in the situation they're in, they always tend to just want to wallop derbies one way or another. I'm going to say 1-0 Forest. This could be a great way for Forest to kick on and maybe, you know, have a good next few games, but, you know, it'll be too much hope. I think it'll be tight. I think it'll be left late. Maybe in the final 20 minutes of the game is when the goal will be scored. I'm going to say 78th minute Brennan Johnson goal to give Forest the win. Before I go, I do want to say I would really appreciate if you could check my channel out. I do similar content to what David does about Forest, but I do it with my local team, Carlisle. I know this isn't a Carlisle shirt. I don't actually know what I'm wearing, an Istanbul Başakşehir top, but it looks nice, so you know. So if you want to see more stuff like this, then make sure to subscribe because I'm sure you'll enjoy it. Thanks for having me on the channel, mate. It's always a pleasure. And yeah, I'll see you guys later and enjoy the rest of the video.
For a score prediction, this one, I think I'm going to have to back a draw. Neither side's going to want to lose it. It's away, the first one, as well. I think a draw will be a good result, you know. I'll say 2-2, though. Can see Forest going 2-0 up and bottling it. I don't know, I just have a feeling that's going to happen. But yeah, it's going to be a really interesting one. Thanks again for Rads for having me on. Absolute legend. Thank you.
But for a derby game, all of these outside factors and stuff go out of the window, in my opinion. Whenever you watch a derby game, you know, nothing really matters apart from those 90 minutes. But I'm going to say that Forest are going to edge this one 2-1.
But as well as Jordan, thanks to Tristan and Kyan, of course, for coming on. Like I've already said, go and check them all out for some top content because they really do make some good stuff. I wouldn't have invited them on if I didn't rate it, you know. I don't tend to do previews, but of course I made an exception today. If you have enjoyed this video, please make sure you drop a like on it, subscribe to the channel. The support recently has been absolutely insane. Cannot thank you all enough for that, and let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. Alright, I'll see you very soon. Come on, you Reds!